Okay, let's go on with the explication. 我们继续讲 the English part. The well-venerated one. Because the Buddha is endowed with such virtues and wisdom that he deserves to be venerated by all people, all multi-beings. Therefore, he got this epithet, the holy epithet, 圣号. Prior to meal time meaning noontime, 12 o'clock sharp. This is the time for the meal. And everybody of the Buddhist monks need to take the meal by 12 o'clock. So it is the rightful meal time. And after that time, it will be the incorrect time for meal taking. So the meaning of meal time has this significance. Donning his cassock. Cassock meaning the priest habiliment. 法衣 habiliment means clothes or dress. There are three kinds of dharmic habiliments. It is called, actually in the Chinese tradition there are four kinds. The 5-striped cassock, 5条衣, 7-striped cassock, 7条衣, and 9-striped cassock, and 25-striped cassock. By stripes, it means that when a bhikshu has got a piece of cloth and he make it into his habiliment, but to be a lawful habiliment, he needs to cut it and lawfully, according to the Buddha's law. So for the 5-stripe, that's for novices or shramana. I mean, shramanera, sami, shramanera. Sami 是5条衣, and this is also a work clothes. And 7-stripe is the usual habiliment or usual cassock that you see. And in this habiliment, it needs to be cut into 7 stripes and then sew them together. Okay. And these are all like brown color. And the 9 stripe is yellow color. And the 25 striped is this one. 25条衣就是又称为红主衣, it's in red. And why would the cloth be cut into stripes? Because in Buddhism, if you want to be a monk, you don't want to wear your clothes for beauty's sake. You know, you want to get away from the worldly beauty. 就是你出家当僧人啊，你穿衣服不能求好看，所以呢，就故意把一整条布的割成这个5条、7条、9条，这场合不一样。The 5th stripe is for work. The 7th stripe is for worshiping， 礼佛的时候，或是 or chanting 啊，这个诵经的时候。The 9th stripe, the yellow one, is to get into a great meeting， 大法会的时候穿黄色的，所以我通常就穿黄色，那就是大法会的时候穿黄色的。吃饭的时候，礼佛的时候就穿 brown 的。And the 25th is for a majestic meeting, like preaching the Dharma, like what I'm doing. So at this occasion, I need to put on this cassock. So this is called patriarchate habiliment, 主衣啊。So there is a tradition for that. So 以割截那个衣啊，就是为了不求行好，不是为了穿好看的。And besides cutting the cloth, you need to also dye it in some color. There are 5 main colors. The ordinary right colors: green, yellow, red, white, and black. Apart from the black color, Buddhists or Buddhist monks are not allowed to use the right yellow. For instance, this robe is in yellow, but it is not the right yellow. It is a little brown, right? Can you see? 所以这个黄色不是正黄，所以不能穿正的青黄赤白啊，必须要有一点点染，所以出家称为染衣啊。所以出家称为染衣，不要拿，或称为支流。支的意思啊，支的意思就是黑的意思，或是染的意思，所以不是正色啊。So, the Buddhist monks are not supposed to dress in the right green, yellow, red, and white colors, because they are more adorned, more beautiful, you know. So it needs to be a little dyed or tainted, you know, so that your clothes would not look so fresh, you know, so appealing. So this yellow is a little dull, right? Because it is tainted with brown. Okay. And so it is the same with the brown habiliment, the 7th stripe, the 七衣啊。It is now authentic brown. It is like coffee color, right? Brown with a little bit dark or black in there, so that it won't look so fresh, so shiny, you know. So that's the intention of the Buddha, so that we don't want to be shiny in the clothes, but we need to shine in wisdom. Okay, so that's the meaning of Buddhism. So you don't like to shine outward, no. You need to shine inward. And to shine from inward towards others, and even towards the universe, towards the Dharmic sphere, 所以我们学佛不是要穿衣服很鲜、很光鲜，而是要让你内心很光鲜，充满光芒，乃至于你这个光芒从里面充满了，乃至于可以泛到外面来，然后可以遍照一切法界，对不对？然后最后你就到遍照寺来。Okay. So prior to mealtime, donning his cassock and holding his alms bowl, 就是he put on his cassock, his dharmic habiliment, and held his alms bowl, alms bowl, 钵. In Sanskrit, it is called patra. Patra, 波多罗 in Sanskrit. What does patra look? It looks like this. This is my patra. When I got the ordainment, 这是我受戒的时候的钵啊。It's been 24 years, and it's got a fracture here. Because one of my disciples, when she was washing it, and she wanted to make it dry, so he dumps it like this, and occasionally touch the sink, and it's got a fracture. So she broke my bowl. 她打破我的饭碗。她这个洗的时候，这个要把它甩干啊，那它一直在 hiu hiu hiu， 就 hiu 了一条线。So, and usually there is a bag coming with it. So this is put in the bag, and also a wood spoon. Okay, 一个木条羹。So if you want to eat from the alms bowl, you don't use chopsticks, you use spoon, and it is preferably with a wood spoon. Why? Because it won't be so noisy. You know, if you are a monk and when you are eating, you are always making, that does not sound good, right? So you eat silently, you know. And also, I want to show you how to take the bowl. 要怎么样拿钵或是拿碗哈？ When you take a bowl, you are eating. You don't take like this. You don't take like this and eat. Why not? Because it is what a beggar does. So, what is the right way? It should be like this. Okay, put your thumb on the top and the four others at the bottom. 所以你拿钵或拿碗的时候要这样子，这样吃才对。你在家里也是一样，你若拿碗这样吃，那是一个乞丐。乞丐是这样子的。那所以应该要这样子啊，而且吃饭的时候一定要拿起来这样吃，坐正正的，不能，我说移一下哈，不能放在这边，然后就埋头苦干。OK， 而且不可以吃饭这样子。When you eat, don't put your elbows on the table and eat like this. And French fries, good. Hamburger. Okay, so table manners. 不管是在家出家都是一样，要正坐，而且这样消化比较好。It's good for digestion and look too, you know. So, and when you eat, a lot of people don't know this. I want to mention this to you. When you eat and when you chew or munch, don't open your lips. You put the food in and then close your lips and chew away. Okay, don't chew like this. It's like a pig. Okay. And sometimes I also saw people put a lot of food in their mouth, and the food goes to the side, and he looks like a monkey. 所以你放很多食物在里面让吃啊，这个叫我们台湾话叫搞龟啊，这样不好看。那如果是出家人，很不庄严，对，很没有威仪。So it's not good looking for priests. Okay. So alms bow and entered into the city of Shravasti for mendicancy. Mendicancy is to beg the food for alms. 就是乞食啊in the Catholicism, there is the Jesuits, 耶稣派。The Jesuits 这是天主教的一个教派啊，他们也有那种就是持贫戒，就是说贫穷啊，不保留财物啊。So for the Jesuits priests, they also keep the poverty vow. They don't own, possessions. So, but it is only part of Christianity, only this sect, and also a very strict sect. But in Buddhism, a lot of people need to keep the poverty vow. Even if in Mahayana, we don't actually go to the street to beg for alms, but we also keep the poverty vow. You know why? Because as monk or nuns, we don't have salaries. Like the missionaries or, 牧师啊, they have salaries and they have vacations too, but we don't. We don't have salaries. We have only allowances. Right now, I have $60 for 1 month, which is called 单银. So 我们每个月我只有60块钱，80块，我是80块的那个单银，就是零用金呐，所以没有薪水的，你知道吧 ？No salaries, no vacation, and no retirement, and no holidays, and only holy days. Holy days means the holy days for the Buddha and for the Pusas, on which days we work all the harder for the holy persons. 所以我们有 holy days， 没有 holiday。The holy days 就圣日啊，圣日就庆祝佛菩萨圣诞呐，所以那时候我们就这个工作的更辛苦了，对不对？而且没有加班费。So we are 7-11 priests, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So mendicancy is keeping poverty. So you are not supposed to have riches or wealth. Like, time is changing. A lot of monks or nuns are very wealthy now, and their wealth may be equal to a bank, right? Yeah. Or several banks, and doing international business. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the Chinese part. 尔时世尊时时着衣持钵，着衣持钵，你看那个衣钵，你把它圈起来。我们中文不是有衣钵传人吗？什么叫衣钵传人？知道吗？衣就是什么？就是你出家以后，你穿衣服就要跟佛一样，就是很简单，是不是？所以我们这一套衣服是永不过时的，你知道吗？永远是最摩登的，你知道吗？所以我们就没有烦恼说，换季啦，或是跟不上时代啊，然后稍微旧一点啊，就换掉了。你们就有这个问题，对不对？你们就稍微旧一点，穿出去怕人家笑，对不对？然后自己穿的也不舒服，对不对？那光是鞋子是几百双，对不对？那我们就是2双，大概，OK。那所以衣跟钵就是生活方式。所以你出家以后，所以人都要吃饭穿衣嘛，对不对？那你学佛的第一步就是学着着佛衣，持佛钵，跟着佛一样的生活，简单朴素，卫生健康。不过这太卫生太健康，你恐怕会生病，你会受不了。那所以衣钵传人的意思是什么？这个衣代表法。The habiliment, the Dharmic habiliment, apart from being a dress, it also stands for the Dharma. Because when the Buddha transmits a Dharma, and it comes with a habiliment. 所以你得法就得衣，所以那这个衣呢，就代表你的身份，所以着衣就是也是法，然后钵呢就吃饭的方式，所以那衣钵传人就是这个继承佛的生活的方式。所以 what is Buddhism? Buddhism is a way of living, and so it is represented by the Kazakh and the Patra and the bowl. They stand for the contents, the way of living. So what does it mean? It means getting away from vanity and getting away from greed for dress and food. 所以衣钵代表什么？代表不贪衣服、饮食，所以就是离贪。所以你出家就第一个就是要离贪，而且离什么呢？还离世间的这个华服，这样的。往下看，入舍卫大乘，起食。那为什么要起食啊？起食有几个意思。第一个，离世间作业；第二个呢，不与俗争；第三个，折伏我慢；第四个，修行忍辱；还有第五个就是修行等持。因为你起食所以就离世间作业，也就是说，你出家以后，你就不再从事世间的这个行业了，那 这个就是真正的离世间出世间嘛，对不对？啊，第二个呢，不与俗争。你如果在做世间的事业的话，那就跟世俗人争利嘛，对不对？啊，所以不与俗争。那第三个呢，就折服我慢，因为你去乞食，这个传统上来讲，俗人认为跟人家乞讨是最丢脸的事，对不对？所以你要摆得下那个脸，对不对？所以折服我慢。所以为什么要折服我慢？为了要修行无我。啊，修行无我，为什么要修行无我？因为无我了以后，那么就能够成就真正的平等智慧啊。然后接着呢，修习忍辱。这个，因为你去乞讨，有时候人家会对你很不客气啊，乃至于说一些不好听的话，那时候你就要修忍辱。啊，然后第五个呢，修行等持。修行等持，平等慈悲，啊，因为你去乞讨的时候，这个，等一下会讲啊，拿过来，拿上来。Why should a monk go for mendicancy or begging for the alms for these purposes? First of all, they need to get away from all the workings. Or karmas of the world, because they want to purify themselves from the worldly karma. Secondly, they don't want to compete with worldly people anymore. Okay, you know something? In the worldly world, the hardest part for a worldly person is competition. Right from the birth, everybody has to do competition, has to compete with others. Right from kindergarten and to the elementary school, high school, college, and then in the companies. All through your life, you are tied with competition, and you cannot ever get away from it. If you want to get away from it, then you are out, right? So only a monk can do away with competition with any people. So competition is the source of annoyances, the source of vexation, and source of anxiety and pressure and suffering, right? So in the worldly world, they say the competition is the source of advancement. Yes, but it's got price to pay. 所以世间人说竞争是进步之源，对不对？没错，可是代价很高。对，那里面有这个压力、冲突、焦虑、痛苦，都是竞争来的。对，但是只有出家不需要竞争。看看，对不对？所以出家以后，这个就在这方面就很自在了。所以唯有出家，而且我告诉你，这世间上啊，也只有佛法的出家人可以这样子。你即使在其他的宗教出家也不行。比如说你当修女、当神父，你个修女跟神父也都有政治的，也都有经济的，对不对？那如果你是当这个新教的那个牧师呢，那更麻烦了，对不对？因为你还要去跟那个信徒去social啊，然后等等啊，还主持婚礼啊，对不对？这个的葬礼是没有办法的，可是我们至少可以不用主持婚礼嘛，是不是？那为什么不主持婚礼？因为婚姻是生死的根源嘛，所以我们不希望你们还堕入生死，所以我们不主持婚礼。所以所谓的佛教 佛教婚姻是佛教婚礼啊 ，that's against the law of the Buddha, and that is ridiculous。听懂吗？这佛教婚礼是跟佛的道理是违背的，是现代的新产品，可以增加信徒，也是跟外道学习。好，所以why does a monk need to beg for the alms? Because he need to be estranged or to be detached from the worldly enterprises, worldly businesses. And secondly, he would not compete with anybody. So because competition is the source of all worries, of all sufferings, all vexations. So, as a Buddhist practitioner, we don't need that. We can get away from it, okay? And it is our privilege, and only the Buddhist privilege too. In other religions, in Catholicism, you still have politics, you still have money management and everything, and all kinds of careers, enterprises, right? But in Buddhism, we don't have that. We don't need that because our purpose is different. That's why we are super. Okay. Super and superior. And the Buddha is supreme. And then why does a monk need to beg? Because he needs to subjugate his arrogance, his ego arrogance, to subdue his arrogance. What is ego? 什么是我？什么是自我？ The last stage of egoticism is self-arrogance. 我慢的最后一个阶段，对吧？自我的最后一个阶段啊，也就是癌症的末期啊。我的癌症的末期就是我慢。一个人到了我慢的时候，那已经是我的癌症末期，你知道吗？因为我有我见、我执、我爱，最后是我慢。所以我慢已经癌症末期第4期了，快翘掉了啊！但是众生都是这一期啊，这个择日可待啊，他死掉是择日可待了啊。And the purpose of begging for the alms is to practice forbearance, because you need to forbear a lot of insults or disparagements when you go begging. Okay, so, and even if in Mahayana Buddhists we don't go for alms begging, but we receive all kinds of donations. That's kind of begging, Any questions so far? Yes? Okay. Example is an egg. And me is an egg or ego. What is wisdom? Or what is wisdom in connection with ego? Because we are egoistic, so we don't have wisdom. Why? Because we are egoistic, so we are limited. So what is our limitation? Our limitation, because we are an egg, and an egg has a crust. 我们是个蛋， 那个蛋呢有蛋壳，对不对？ So we are circumscribed by the crust. So we can, of course, this crust defends us. So it defends us. So it's our system of defense. 这个蛋壳是我们的防卫系统。But at the same time, it's become a jail. So we are incarcerated in this jail. So me is incarcerated. 我被监禁了，监禁在这个蛋壳里面。这个蛋壳呢，是防卫我们，是一个自我防卫系统。But at the same time, it keeps us from going out. 它就同时呢，这个蛋壳呢，就令我们不能够出去。这个自我防卫系统令我们不能出去。Therefore, we are limited. Therefore, our information or our wisdom is limited within this circumference. Okay, so the Buddha's wisdom, meaning he's got a way or lots of ways or myriad ways to break through the shell of the egg. So when the shell is broken, then it means you are liberated from your own self-defense system. And so you become egoless. 所以佛的方法是什么？就是把我们这一个蛋壳，这个什么蛋壳呢？我把它称为无明之壳。这无明之壳把它打破了以后呢，我们就解放了，就解脱了。解脱了以后 ，if we can break through this eggshell, this shell, I call it the shell of inanity, 无明之壳。So if you can break through the shell of inanity or ignorance, then you are liberated. So this me, in the deepest side of this me, is the innate nature or innate essence, 本性, or called Buddha nature. Everybody has this Buddha nature deep inside their mind. But because we circumscribe our Buddha nature with a shell, with a concrete shell, 钢筋铁骨的这个 shell. So you need to break through this 无明之壳. If these are broken, then your Buddha nature will reveal, and your limitation is taken away, and you become unlimited in your sight and in your insight and in your foresight. So if the shell of your limitation is taken away, you are liberated, then you are free, and then your Buddha nature is revealed. Your Buddha nature will come to the fore, 现前. And when your Buddha nature comes to the fore, 现前, 佛性现前, your Buddha nature comes to the fore, then your sight, your insight, and your foresight will be unlimited. That's the gist of Buddhism. Okay? So, this egg is very important because it's got the germ of everything, right? It's the source of life, right? And the Buddha has a lot of ways to break through and to erode 腐蚀，佛的法可以把它打破这无明之壳，也可以把它溶掉啊，无明之壳 by a lot of means. And the greatest way to erode or to take away this shell is prajna paramita. And prajna paramita is like what? Like laser. Okay. So it's very effective. It just goes and it's okay. And you are okay. And right at that moment, if you do the laser gun, use the laser gun on your shell, then you will see your Buddha nature. And then at that time we say, in the esotericism, we call it 即身成佛，或见性成佛。即身成佛 that you attain Buddhahood right at this corporal body, or you witness your own Buddha nature and become a Buddha instantly. So this is the way, and the most terse way, succinct way of Buddhism, or succinct interpretation of Buddhism, or Mahayana Buddhism. So your question is simple, but simple to put it, but the answer does not come easy, right? Because I need to know so much as to be able to satisfy you. Okay? Any more question? So every good question will get a good answer, but even a dumb question can get a good answer too. So don't worry. If you don't ask, then you are dumb. Any dumb question will make you wise. Any more? Okay, if there are no more questions, then we proceed with our sutra, okay? So, what does cassock and alms bowl mean? It means a way of living, the Buddhist way of living, the most simple way of living which gets you away from the worldly competition, worldly worries, worldly frustrations, right? So, and in this kind of life, you don't have anxiety anymore, no pressure. So it's just peace and bliss. Enter into the city of Shravasti for medicancy. After having done it in accordance with the sequential medicating rule in the town, he returned to his domicile. Having taken the repast, put away the cassock and bowl, and laved his own feet, the Buddha then arranged the meditation mat and sat in meditation. This is a great paragraph, I tell you. But it is so simple, but it is the most significant point in Buddhism, because that's the way the Buddha lives. Okay, let me tell you. After having done it in accordance with the sequential medicating rule, because he begged for the alms according to the rule and sequentially, because he does not jump from house to house. He needs to follow the road, and he can beg for alms for only 7 times or 7 houses. Okay, and he cannot choose either the poor or the rich, you know. 所以这个如来这个起食的时候，所有一切比丘起食的时候，都不能选择贫富，而且依次而起，而且只能起7家。如果乞讨了7家而都不够，或是没有人供养的话，那他就那一天就不能吃，就不吃了。So after 7 houses, if he has not got enough or has not got anything at all, then he will go hungry that day. And that's the rule. So there are only 7 chances for him. And why? Because there is a time limit. Plus that if you cannot beg all day, right? So if you are a persistent person and you decide that you want to get so much and you can beg all day, that's not right. Because there's a time limit for you to take the food. Okay? So time is pressing and rushing. So he returned to his domicile. Domicile means abode or where he lives. 他就回到他的本处啊。Having taken the repast meaning food. 吃完饭以后，这个 repast 就是饭了啊，饮食啊。He put away the cassock and bowl. 他就收衣钵啊，然后 laved his own feet. 就洗脚。这个洗脚水怎么来的？他自己端的啊。因为那时候阿难还没有当侍者，这佛要到很老的时候才允许有侍者，他一直都自己 take care of himself, like what I'm doing now. The Buddha then arranged the meditation mat for himself and sat in meditation. So what does this paragraph mean? It means that the Buddha does everything for himself. And this is the superficial meaning. 这表面上的意思是这样子。And the deeper meaning is because this paragraph is placed at the beginning of this supreme sutra, the sutra of supreme wisdom. So it refers to something much deeper. 所以这一段呢，这么平时的叙述呢，如来的平常的生活，对不对？饮食起居啊，是不是？打坐啊，如果是平常就没什么了。但是这一个是放在这个举世最高的一个般若法门《金刚经》的一开头，这表示什么呢？不只是说流水账，不是如来生活的流水账，而是告诉我们佛的平时的生活。那平时的生活是什么？ It also indicates that the source of prajna or Buddha's wisdom comes from the plain living of every day. Comes from the realization or practice of every day. So you need to do it. Prajna is doing, is not just talking. OK， 所以般若是做的，是在日常生活中看起来平实无奇的这样子在做，但是这就是把般若大智付之实行，知道吧？那如来以身作则，来告诉我们，他怎么样实行般若？实行般若就在平淡无奇的生活中，把它付之实现。为什么？我告诉你，佛是很尊贵的，对不对？那他要有10个8个侍者是没问题的。他为什么还要去乞食呢？他走路去乞食啊， 然后拿着钵去乞食，然后回来，因为那个时候也没有柏油路啊，所以回来还要洗脚啊，吃饭呐，然后还自己铺法座啊，这就是什么？这个就是去除我慢，懂吗？他不要人服侍，他去除我慢，然后这个身体力行，所以波诺在平时的生活之中 ，Prajna, the great wisdom of Prajna, is exhibited by the Buddha in the plain livelihood of every day. In the plain dressing, eating, alms begging, and meditation. So what is Buddhism? It's terrific, but it's plain. It looks plain. It's so deep that you cannot see with your naked eye. 波诺看起来平实无华，平实无华。Prajna, it looks plain and unornate, undecorated, but it's deep, it's profound. It's like what? It's like a poem of a great poet. Most great poetry is plain on the wording, on the sentence structure, but it needs a lot of technique and a lot of practice to put those simple words, simple dictions together to form a great poem and to form great spirit and great feeling in the poetry. So, 你看，所有的伟大的诗啊，那个字都是很简单，而且就是很平实无华，像什么？像杜甫的诗一样，啊，那个用字都很简单，但是它的意思很深沉，对不对？而且它没有雕琢的这个样子。So, all great poetry, like great teaching of Buddha, is the same. They are the same. They are unornate, undecorated in any superficial way. They are plain in looking, but they are just profound. And that's why they can be helpful and they can be practiced by ordinary people like us. So we've got a great chance to be like the Buddha, as the Buddha expects us to. Isn't that great? Say yes. Yes. Louder. Yes. Good. So let's put a full stop here for today. And 回向，愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。Okay, if you feel good about this, and tell your friends and people to come here and listen to me, and we will talk together and have a good time here. Okay? And see you next time. Thank you very much for coming.